everybody. Welcome back to the Bell Astrology Podcast. I am your host and astrologer Ashley, and in today's episode, we are talking about the new moon in Aries coming up on April 17th. The beautiful moon will renew herself at 6:52 a.m. here in Central Time at 27 degrees of Aries. So much Aries conversations lately. So much to discuss. Today, when I am recording this podcast, it's actually April 9th. Huge day for Aries because today is the day that Mars moves into Aries. Finally out of Pisces, we can stop escaping, we can start doing, even if you don't want to, So I have been feeling just this immense amount of pressure around the things that I just don't want to do. We all have those things. And I'm preaching, right? I'm up here, I'm preaching, I'm telling you all of these things about Aries season. If you've seen my content, listen to the Aries podcast, you know that this is the season to get things done, to be doing. We're not overthinking anymore. Now that Mars has moved into Aries, it's really this, we're only waiting on one other planet and then the moon to come in, Mercury, but now it's like, you don't have an excuse. Gotta stop overthinking. You gotta start doing. No more escaping the emails, escaping the voicemails. For me, that's a huge trigger for me, is when I have like missing voicemails and missing emails, and I just don't want to address it, and I don't want to make that phone call, and I don't want to do it, even though I know as soon as I do it, it's really not that hard. It's gonna be over. But it's just, stop overanalyzing, stop thinking. And so I've really been challenging myself to do something uncomfortable every day. Even if it's just a small thing, but what did I do today that was uncomfortable? What did I do today that moved some fire, that was brave? So lots of newness is happening on this side of the screen. And with that, I know we're talking about the new moon in Aries, but this is all very relative because there's so much activity with Aries, and this all just compounds, and it's building up to this new moon that we're having on the 17th. But there's so much planetary activity in Aries. By the time we get to the new moon, there'll be 7 planets all in Aries. And so where you have Aries in your chart represents an area of your life. This, as we're building towards, it's going to cover this whole spectrum of Aries, because right now all these planets are gathering in the beginning of Aries. So if you're an early degree Aries or an early degree cardinal sign, so Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, this is really huge. Like, you're probably really feeling all of this pressure. And as we move to the new moon, the moon will be a late degree Aries. So we'll have this whole span of Aries. So like for me, for example, Aries in my chart it starts in my 3rd house. It really splits it in half. So Aries is half in the 3rd house, half in the 4th house. It rules, because I use Placidus, Aries rules my 4th house, but I can't deny that I don't know that all of this planetary activity is really kicking off in my 3rd house. And so throughout this whole Aries season, we are all getting such a broad touch for all of this Aries activation. And so knowing where you have Aries in your chart, what specific areas, is huge. It's so huge, and it helps to direct all of this energy instead of being reckless with it, because there's so much fire. There's so much energy of just momentum, just feistiness. This almost, also because of Uranus at its 29th degree in Taurus, there's this electricity, this final push type of urgency. I don't know if you have been feeling that. I have definitely been feeling that. So being intentional, knowing where you have Aries in your birth chart helps you to focus on where you really should be directing that energy instead of being reckless with it, being impulsive with it, and then burning out. You can really harness the power of this environment that we are all available to have access to by knowing where to channel it. See, like for me, I have so much newness happening, and it could be really easy for me, and I've noticed it already. It is. We're already halfway through Aries season, but there's a lot of my energy being pulled in different places. I am trying to call my energy back because it can so easily become reckless and chaotic. Chaotic is a good word. So I'm studying right now for my second level wine certification, WSET, which is a huge undertaking. It is way more in depth than I actually realized. I love it and I can't wait to get through it, but this is a commitment that I'm in it. And so that needs to be a focus for me. Yoga is yoga is something that, from a newness perspective, I've been doing yoga for 6 years now, but as many of you know, I've been going through my yoga teacher certification. Well, I can announce this here. I am officially a yoga instructor now at Notice Wellness. So starting in May, I will be teaching. I am so excited. I officially graduate this weekend. Of course, when this episode comes out, this will already all be done. But that's new. That is something I'm using my body from a career perspective, something I've wanted to do for so long, and how perfect and appropriate that that would come to fruition during Aries season. Of course it would. Of course. I'm scared, yes. Pushing myself mentally, physically, spiritually beyond any capacity that I ever have before, but I welcome the growth, and I'm trying very hard to be cognizant of not overthinking things and putting my observer on to really watch where I get the fear, the self-doubt, the overcommitting, the impulsivity, watching my emotions. I'm not my emotions. That was such a great message in today's yoga session. Like, I am not my emotions. And just, if you think about Aries is that first sign of the zodiac. It's primal energy, it's raw. And if you think about it, like your mindset, when you first came here, right? Because Aries came here first, they didn't have anything to refer back to as far as how to live, how to be, how to act. There was only me, I am, and this is what I'm going to do. And so I'm really challenging myself. This is part of my growth, part of this evolution that I am growing through, in that I already know. It's going back to that primal knowing, that instinctual intuition of knowing before the world told me who I had to be. Before the world told me, hey, everything goes from A to Z, and you have to follow that A to Z path, and this is how it's going to look, because you have proof of your whole life of how this has looked. It's taking that observer approach, stepping back and saying, but I know what's really going on here. I know what I know for a reason. More on that. That's a totally different episode, but just getting back to really that inner knowing. And I think that's such a great thing to fall back into during Aries season, because we can be so impulsive. We want to do all the things. We have all this fire, this energy and do, and you're being told like, this is a time to move, time to make commitments, like, let's go do the thing. But being very intentional about it, and where is it coming from? Are you reacting to the outside world, or is that fire and that desire coming from your core self, your inner self, your highest self? And moving from that place is such a good message for this whole Aries season, even this, where I've gone on a tangent here, but even such a great message for this upcoming new moon. I was looking at the chart for this new moon, and it is so unbelievable. As an astrologer, I'm totally geeking out about this. Just because if you have the ability and you know how to look up the chart for April 17th, just go take a look and look at all of the planets in the 12th, or not the 12th house, in Aries. When I was pulling the chart, because I live in northern Minnesota, for 652, when I was looking at the chart for this new moon, all of this activity then would be in the 12th house. And I just remember sitting there, I was just like, wow, this is amazing for all of us, because we are all going to live this moment together. This environment, this energetic is all for us. But someone will be born with that chart. Someone will come earthside with that blueprint. And oh my gosh, like I, as an astrologer, may even be intimidated to receive a chart like that, because what an experience this person is going to have. They did not come here to play small. Oh my gosh, they came here to do something for sure. Such an amazing chart, so powerful. I hope one day that I get to meet whoever is born with that chart. It's gonna be wild. But that's the power of just knowing what energetic is available to all of us, even though that will be someone. We are all going to be impacted by this new moon. And it's so intentional. And we all decided we were going to be here at this time. What a time to be alive. I find myself saying that so much with everything that's happening in this life, in my life. Oh my gosh, what a time to be alive, because I chose this. I chose to be here. We all chose to be here during this, to experience this together, to go through this new beginning, this restart, this new era all together. And the more that I look at and learn, the more I realize how much I still have to learn. And I love this modality. I love astrology. I will never, ever learn it all. I will ever, forever be a student. And I love that. I absolutely love that, because more just keeps coming in. I keep learning more. It keeps evolving. And all of this to say, I want to bring this now back to the new moon, because that's really why we're here. This new moon in Aries feels like a decision point. We're gathering all this data. We're gathering all this momentum. We're gathering all of this opportunity and this growth and this knowing and this coming to this point. And it feels like a decision point. It feels like we are standing at the beginning for the first time. Even though it's not the first time, but it's this first time with this perspective. It's the first time with this awareness. And it's like a moment where everything inside of you says, okay, enough. I'm done with the charade. I'm done with the game. I know how this works. I've done this before. I remember why I came here. There's enough waiting. There's enough circling. There's enough carrying what doesn't actually belong to me. Narratives, weight, relationships, jobs, all of this that I carry and the things that I do. It's like this decision point of, wait a minute, is this really mine? Is this what I want and desire for my life? And if it's not, then why? Why? Nothing is stopping me. There are no planets in retrograde right now. Like literally nothing is stopping you. But it's that giving yourself that permission to actually live your life and to really see it from this new vantage point, this evolved. this newness where you can detach away from everything that was draining you and actually choose how you want to live your life now and how you show up inside of it. Because the most important thing to us is our identity, right? Well, Aries is our identity. It's I am. That's the mantra of Aries. And there's something so raw and honest about that because we're not taught to think about ourselves. We're taught to think about the ripples that we have, the others around us, how we contribute to the greater good, and all of those lessons are pieces of the puzzle. All of those are pieces of us, but the I am part of us gets overshadowed. It gets put in a box. Like like going after your dreams in a crazy way in this life gets looked at judgmentally, right? If you see someone that is just going after everything they want and taking no excuses and making their dream come true, you're seeing them live it. You'll notice there's a lot of people that of course will be cheering that on, but there's also equally the other side of that, of that's so selfish. They only care about themselves. And so we lost a lot of our selfness. And this new moon is a return back to that. It's not a return to selfishness, because you got to look at the definition of selfish in the way that we are taught selfish is thinking for ourselves, thinking only for ourselves. But everything starts within ourself and is reflected back to us in our external reality. And so if we don't have a true I amness, a connection, a remembering to what we are, what is reflected around us is not ours. So you can look at the world around you and you can find yourself, maybe you're in a situation, a job, or things don't look the way that you want them to. Well, how's your I amness? Like if the external reality is truly a mirror of your internal light, what are you shining on? What's your internal light shining on? What is the relationship that you have with you and your selfishness? And so I just want you to think about that. I want you to think about that, as well as this archetype of Aries. So this is an energetic, that's why I say this is like a decision point. You're going to feel this one, especially, you're going to feel it in your body. You're going to feel it because it's coming from deep within. So under a dark moon sky, a new moon, we go inward because there is no light reflecting, right? It's a dark sky. And we go inside. So this fire is starting on the inside, which we know is the most important. That's all that is our inside. Our inside directs the outside. And so Aries is the sign, this energy that doesn't ask for permission, that doesn't wait to be told what they can and can't do, that just is. It's learning, making the choice. We've already learned. We already know this. It's going back to that primal knowing of you already know yourself, but that little internal narrative that's so loud that seems actually really big, and the cage that we build around ourselves, we go back to that voice that we know is true. When you stand behind and you can separate, okay, what's the words, the narrative that's running, versus when I truly know a voice that's mine, it's different. That's the observer, because then you begin to notice, why am I thinking that? That wasn't even my thought. That's a narrative that's just running in the background. based on data that I have lived, right? If we are a computer system. It's based on data that is constantly calculating based on our past experiences, predicting what the future is going to be. But that's not truly who we are. You know your soul and you know your I amness. It sits back, but you hear that voice and they are different. They are vastly different. And so Aries then says, this new moon in Aries, it's doing. It's starting to move from that place, that centered place. And I often don't think and relate Aries energy to what I'm doing when I'm meditating. Maybe you will now as I'm saying this and connecting this energy too. But when you meditate, you're going to you're cutting through the noise of that other part of you, your conscious mind. You're cutting through that noise to get back to your I amness, the whole, right? That universe voice, that's you. And so in essence, that is what's driving you. That is your soul, that is your fire, that's your Aries. And Aries takes action. It moves through action. It learns through experience. You came here to learn and experience this lifetime, to move. And so when we have this new moon in Aries, we're all invited to that same energy. And it's not about having it all figured out, because then why would we be here if we had it all figured out? This is all an experience. We came here to learn and experience, but it is trusting in that I amness, to let that be the part that leads, to quiet the noise of everything else around us and start. And I think for a lot of us, what this is bringing up and what is being brought up to the surface, especially just leading up to a new moon, because I say this all the time, but it's so true and I'm reminded of it every single new moon, is that the days leading up to a new moon, we are shown things that we don't like. This is contrast, okay? Because unless you experience something you don't like, how do you know what you do? Right? It's showing you what you don't prefer in life so you can make the choice to live the life that you do prefer. And maybe you don't know what you prefer, but you sure know what you don't prefer. So it's the opposite of that. It's the same thing of you can't have lightness without darkness. If you see people who are all love and all light, and maybe they truly are from totally another planet, and they have a totally different DNA than we do here as a human, but you can't have light without darkness. You can't. It doesn't exist, right? And so some of the things that you may experience coming up, because this is about our identity, is old identities. Who you were does not reflect who you are and where you're going. And all it takes is a simple decision of noticing, recognizing, getting back into that I amness, declaring who you are, and moving from that place. It's as easy as that. But old stories, old expectations, and old conditioning, it has to be recognized to see the contrast. Oh, this is a story that's been playing. This is why I'm currently acting in this way, but actually that's not even where I want to go. That's not who I want to be. And in that moment, you step back into your I amness, start living from that place, and you get to move forward. But the days leading up to a new moon can feel heavy. Things feel outdated and uncomfortable. Something like you're not comfortable in your skin because you're outgrowing it. And that's okay. That's completely okay. But this new moon is almost like it's saying, this isn't me anymore. This isn't me anymore. And that's exciting. It's exciting, says the Scorpio, to go through shadow work and growth and and mourning the death of who you used to be. Um, sorry. I'm projecting, right? Every person you talk to, and you'll get this with any astrologer too, is like we know our own lived experiences. And I have a lived experience as a Scorpio. Just so I always go there. Anyway, I digress. But this new moon feels very much alive. So I'm talking about darkness and death. It's one that feels very alive, and because it's here to ignite within you what makes you feel alive. What makes you feel alive? What wakes you up? Okay? What feels exciting? What are the things that just ignite you from within and sustain you? That is where this moon is guiding you. This moon says those are the things that you came here to do. Ignoring them diminishes your flame. Everything else, nothing else matters except for the things that light you up, that you feel called to, that are exciting, that bring joy into your life, that make you feel alive. You didn't come here to feel numb. There is no way that you came here to this incarnation to feel numb. No. You are here having this experience. You should be angry about that if you feel like that's not your life. Again, it's one decision point. That's not my life anymore. I'm going after. I'm not chasing. Chasing was the wrong word. It came out of my mouth. But it's aligning, because you make the decision with what you want that makes you feel alive. And that could be really scary, because you could realize real quick that you are not in alignment with a lot of things in your life. And it doesn't have to be done overnight. Okay, going back to the beginning of this episode about the impulsivity and the urgency, it is that awareness and acting from that I amness now. All it takes is one decision, and you start moving in that direction, and your whole life changes. And that's because you're choosing a life that reflects your desires. It reflects your passions and your truth, and that takes courage. Because whatever this whole life experience here on earth, this earth school, for whatever reason that we are sold this, it has to look a certain way. It has to be a certain way. It has to go linearly from A to Z. To go against that grain, to choose to live a life that is alive, that takes courage. It shouldn't be that way. And maybe that's why we're all here right now at this time together, to wake up and say, like, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to. This is my life, and I get to live it, and I want to live it. My I amness says that I deserve to live a life of fire and joy and passion. And most people we don't live that way. I will say, I'll go back to 2019, really, when my whole world turned upside down, dark night of the soul, realized that I wasn't living a life that fed my soul, right? And it's not easy to get to that realization. That's the work of growth, though. Every day is an opportunity to grow and to make that decision and to choose yourself. And that's not selfish. That's just aligning with your I amness. Now, something that I want to point out to that, this moon is conjunct Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. Yes, everyone's in Aries right now, but Chiron is really, really close to the sun and the moon on the new moon. And so as the wounded healer, something that's really important here is that it's also connected to deep healing. And that is a connection to old wounds. So you could expect some of those to maybe resurface, not to hurt you, but again, that contrast of who is driving this ship, is what story am I still holding on to? And I get to define the narrative. What are the pieces that are restricting that right now? And what I love about this, I'm not saying that your wounds don't matter, because they are. That's how you grow. But that's because they've shaped you. They've made you who you are. They've brought you here. And so there's this really powerful opportunity to rewrite something with this new moon, and to move forward with more self-trust, to move forward with that self-assertion, that knowing, that primal knowing, taking ownership of what you desire. And that, again, requires bravery. It requires you to choose yourself. And if you're someone who isn't used to doing that, that can be really uncomfortable. It can be really uncomfortable. But I want to say this in the most grounded way. The most grounded way, you, from your astrologer to you, all of this astrology is pointing to, you're not waiting anymore. You're done waiting. You're not waiting for someone to give you permission to be who you are, to choose your identity. It's not even choosing something different. It's going back to choosing what you already know, what you know is truest of true for you. It's not waiting for a perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. There is no other perfect moment but now. And you're not waiting for someone to choose you. You're already chosen. You're not waiting for someone to save you. Ooh. Got that one. You're not, though. You're not waiting for someone to choose you. This is about the relationship you have with yourself. This is not an external validation of the world around you. This is going back and looking at yourself and how you are living on the inside. Your I am-ness. It's self-led, and it's time to start doing. And so maybe this new moon, you try something new. Maybe it inspires you to do something differently. Certainly to write your intentions and plant those seeds under this new moon. If you're not doing that, oh my gosh, and just humor me. Just pretend to humor me for a second. Write down your intentions of what you want and share it with the universe. All of this potent energy is so available to all of us right now. I don't want you to miss out on this. You won't, but capitalize on it. You recognize it, utilize it. You're listening to this podcast. You know that this is a new era. And so take responsibility, take ownership of that. And with this new moon, I just, we're in the planting phase. I want to come back to this under the full moon in Aries, which happens during Libra season, so the opposite sign. I want to come back to this under that full moon, because that's the moon cycle, new moon to full moon, 6 months. So mark your calendar, September 26th. Write yourself a letter. Oh my gosh, write yourself a letter under this new moon. Just share your ideas, share your I am-ness, declare who you are, write your intentions, write yourself a letter and open it on September 26th. You're going to be amazed. You're absolutely going to be amazed at what you planted under this new moon sky and what has come to fruition in September. I'm so excited. I am so excited for that. If you, on the night before the new moon, so the new moon, like I said, is 6:52 a.m. on the 17th, the night before, I am hosting a new moon sound bath at Divine North at 5:30. So if you're local, come to the sound bath at Divine North and really prepare yourself, your body, your vessel for this kind of energy. Remember I said Aries is very physical. This moon, it lives within the body. And so this is going to be such a beautiful space for you to release what you're not bringing with you into this new chapter, this new phase, and allow the sound medicine to help you ground and clear and create space so that what you are calling in actually has space to land, right? If you're planting seeds in a garden bed and it's overgrown and full of debris and leaves and all, last year's plants, the success of those seeds growing is not very good. So we have to clear the vessel. We have to clear what was old, get rid of, release the old debris. Yes, we're very thankful for the fruits that were given to us before, and we learned so much from what grew there in the past, but that's not coming with us. They have expired. That story is over, and we're planting new seeds. So I want to invite you to that sound bath with me at Divine North on April 16th. Tickets, you can get those at divinenorthreiki.com. And I am looking forward to seeing you there. Now, if you have been feeling, with all of this that's been going on astrologically, if you've been feeling a call to go deeper into astrology and really start to understand and follow along with me in these podcasts. We've had readings together, or not, maybe not, but maybe you're really interested in learning more about astrology or how to really bridge this knowledge into an embodiment into your chart. Well, I am very excited this is again part of all of this Aries activation. Time to go, time to move. I'm doing it. I'm doing scary things, not scary things, things that I've always wanted to do, but I didn't put it high on the priority list because of all the other things that I thought I had to do. Well, we're not doing that anymore. I want you guys to be the first to know that I am so excited to share this launching of a private membership with me. It's called Inner Orbit. And this is such an amazing opportunity because through this membership, and there's multiple touch points or however you want to be integrated, however long, however deep you want to go, it's completely customizable. But this is a connection between you and I every month on a personal level. We get to sit down together, you and I, every single month and look at your chart. We get to look at the transits that are happening in your life and talk about what this month, and when I say month, I'm speaking astrological season. So we would have started with Aries season. We would have talked about all the activity, where this is hitting in your chart. So you have an idea of this season, what this means for you. What does this new moon look like for you? What was that full moon about? So you know what energetics are available to you and when, what cycle you're in. Are you in a cycle of rest? Are you in a cycle of fire? We look at all of that every single month. And there's so much more into this membership. I will put some more information out there on this on my website, as well as I will put some more information out on Instagram, and I'll send it through email too. It's so much more than just the touch points between you and I, because I'm building a community. I'm building a community of those who want to embody astrology and live this language in their life. We get to all connect together. We get to have these conversations. We get to know each other. We get to build these relationships with the like-minded souls that also want to live their life that way. So this is so exciting. It's called Inner Orbit, and I will get more information to you, but if you're interested now, go check it out. It's on my website, ashleybellastrology.com. I'm so excited to connect with all of you in this way. And it's so, also, I'll say this too, it's for everybody. If you just want to receive information from me, you want to have a personal astrologer and have these one-on-one conversations every single month, that's great. If you are someone who is learning astrology or you want to learn astrology, what a beautiful mentorship opportunity, because we look at your chart. you get to you get access to a professional astrologer to understand all of the aspects within your chart. If you're already down that path, this is such a great resource. Something that I wish I had more of when I was studying and learning is to ask all of those questions. You know the language, you know your chart, but we get to really look at it live time and have this dialogue. So you can also treat this as a mentorship. Of course, I do have my digital course out there if you want to start learning astrology. It's called Embody Your Astrology, and it's a self-paced digital course where you get to learn the foundation of astrology. You get to learn how to read your chart. Love that as an option if you want to start there, but just a little spoiler, if you enter inner orbit, you get access to that course anyway. So very excited on all of those things. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have really had so much to say in this podcast. I'm so excited about this full moon, this newness. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for your I amness, for you to get to this place of letting your desire, your soul, your true self lead. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for what you're calling in. I'm so excited for the intentions that you're planting under this new moon. I cannot wait to hear all about it. I hope to see you if you're local at the sound bath. We can talk about it. And I really know that this is the beginning. This is the beginning of something so powerful. And I'm so happy to meet you there and to plant our seeds and to trust in what is unfolding and to do this together. I cannot wait to see what grows for you. All right, you guys, happy new moon in Aries from my heart to yours.